All right. Hello, hello. So it is our last meeting before our big review where we actually talk about solutions. So last week we talked about information, data, and feedback. We moved on to resources and tools, knowledge and skills, and yesterday was incentives and consequences. So as always, I'm AJ Emery. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, whatever time you're reading this. I apologize in advance if my dog and cat make any noises while I'm recording this, because they are staring intently at each other and I just know something's going to happen. So, with that, we're going to get started here. I want you to notice that I have the worksheet up on the screen. This is the personal problem solving worksheet. You can find it at the website, www.fourleafleadership.com under the life coaching section. And you'll notice that all of the stuff we've covered so far is green. And then what we're going to cover today, capacity and motivation, happens to be purple. And there's a reason for that. I didn't just get bored and decide that we needed to change up the colors. It's because these two little troublemakers, much like my cats and my dog, they are the thing that we jump to immediately when we have a problem. So when there's something that we want to accomplish and it hasn't been accomplished yet, we assume one of two things more often than not. We assume we can't do it, we don't have the capacity, we can't do it, or that we don't want it enough, and that's motivation. So a lot of times when you're looking at other people trying to do something, trying to reach a goal, motivation is usually what we blame. Well, they just don't want it enough. Or capacity, they just don't have the willpower. And sadly enough, we talk that way about ourselves as well. So I want to just nip these two in the bud. So if you somehow answered yes to everything in the green, then we would look at capacity and motivation. But the cool thing about capacity and motivation is they can be fluid. They can be influenced, okay? There may be certain things that we can't do and will never be able to do, and things that maybe we don't really care to be able to do. For example, my goal is to be a better fitness role model in my classes. Okay, that's what I want to work on for these next few months as I really start to grow my fellowship in the classes that I'm teaching and get more classes and all of that good stuff. So I know that I can do more. But there is a part of me that looks at what some people do, and I just say that is nothing. That is something that does not interest me. I do not necessarily care to have the bodybuilder's body or the fitness model's body. And those people are incredible to me. And if I had just a quarter of the skill that they do in terms of managing their food and managing how they work out and managing their lives, oh my gosh, I will be successful. Absolutely. Okay. So that is a motivation thing and potentially a capacity thing because it's not something that's in my wheelhouse right now. However, I know I can do more than what I'm doing now. I know I can. And how do I know that? Question number one under capacity. Have you made improvements to your knowledge and skill in this area in the past? First answer is yes. I have done this before. I have gotten to the point where I wanted to be. I was putting up a lot of weight in body pump. I was killing it at CKO. I felt great. Can you see yourself improving more? And the answer again is yes. So how about you? In this area that you are attempting to reach this goal, and you're going to, have you made improvements to your knowledge and skill in this area in the past? So we have a couple people that mentioned dealing with depression. We had a couple people mention health and fitness. We had others mentioning business goals. So your answer may be yes to this. There may be something that you've done in your past where you got better for a moment. Okay. Maybe it wasn't 100%, but you were at 20% and you made it to 30%. Okay. And you can see yourself improving to 40%. If that's the case, answer yes. If not, if this is something new for you, let's say I was focusing more on the entrepreneurial side of my life, then I would say no to this because I've never made improvements to that knowledge or skill of building a business. But can I see myself improving more? I sure can. Okay. So I might say no to that one, or I might say not sure. And that's okay. Totally okay. It doesn't mean you don't have the capacity. It's just one question out of 3. Question number 2, are you truly utilizing all your time in a way that is either productive or part of a self-care regimen? Truly utilizing. Now, I have met a few people in my life that truly utilize every moment of every day. They are very in tune to what they can do and what their abilities are with time. And they even work in the self-care and avoid burnout. Those people are incredible. I've met 2. 2 out of the hundreds and thousands of people that I've met in my life. So ask yourself, are you truly utilizing all your time in a way that is either productive or part of a self-care regimen? And chances are the answer here is yes. You don't even need to know exactly what the time is yet, just that it's there. So for example, to be a good fitness role model, I have to learn choreography. And I do a decent job. And part of the time that I use is drive time. So if I'm driving in the car by myself, it's very rare that I will be listening to anything except Les Mills music, especially this week because it's launch week and I'm learning new stuff. Okay. But chances are that's what I'm doing. Another time that I could be doing that is when I'm getting ready in the morning, right? When I'm putting on my makeup, when I'm curling my hair, when I'm brushing my teeth. That's a little difficult because it's hard to hear. You ever notice that? It's hard to hear when you're brushing your teeth. Okay. So little things like that. I could do more of it. I could, when I'm trying to fall asleep and I'm sadly scrolling Facebook, which I shouldn't be doing. I know all of you who know better are listening and going, that's going to keep you awake, AJ. And it does. I could be reviewing choreography because, not going to lie, it puts me to sleep sometimes. So are you truly utilizing all of your time in a way that's either productive or part of a self-care regimen? So no, do not get rid of your bubble bath that you do once a week. Do not get rid of that glass of wine that you enjoy with your friends or whatever it is. That's part of keeping you on track and keeping you from burnout. So are you truly utilizing all of your time? Chances are the answer is no. Maybe it's not sure, or maybe you're one of those 2 people that I've met in my life that have got this down. Okay, no matter what you answer, as long as you're honest, it's all good. Finally, have you asked others for help? Help in obtaining more time, resources, support, etc. In my journey, I asked a friend of mine who does coaching for nutrition and specializes in macros, and she said yes. Woohoo! Okay. So have you asked others for help? Do you have someone that could or even should be helping out more? And I'm going to scroll up to the top here because when we talk about professional problem solving, so we're in personal right now, but when we talk about professional, we have the same question. Okay. Only it's, have you set proper expectations? So if you have a partner and you need more from that partner, maybe they already have their dream job or they already get more of that self-care time and you really need more of it. They are your partner. Maybe it's time to have a conversation, set some expectations, set some boundaries. Okay? I had this conversation with my husband about the dog, right? We have to have this conversation every day of who's going to be where and when. and who's going to make sure that the dog gets to go outside and do his thing and gets fed and gets playtime. So we set those expectations with each other. We agree on them. And that wouldn't happen if I said no to this question. I have to ask him for help. Okay? If I don't ask, he doesn't know I need it. Now, does that mean he should wait until I ask? I would hope not, but I can't control what he does, right? Now, I'm very lucky in the fact that he does it. When something needs to be done, he does it. I'm a very, very lucky lady. But there are relationships out there that aren't that way. Maybe you have kids that are getting to that age where they may not know what to do and they're still learning how to help you. And it's time to have that discussion and say, okay, I need to focus on this goal that I have. I need to focus on me for a few months. And this means you have a chance to grow as a person and learn some life skills. When I was growing up, I was very fortunate. My mom loved taking care of us, and it made for a very interesting college experience when I didn't know how to do my own laundry. I was excited to do it. I actually did laundry for a lot of people in my dorm because I was so excited to learn how to do it. But things like vacuuming and sweeping, and those are life skills that, it's good to give your children the opportunity to be kids. But eventually they need to learn how to be adults too. So have you asked them for help? Have you asked friends and family around you? And this is if you need it. Maybe you're sitting there going, I'm not truly utilizing all my time. I definitely could do more. And maybe you don't need to ask others for help, but I still want you to answer the question. And if the answer is no, it doesn't mean it's a problem. It just means the answer is no. Motivation. So as we move on from capacity, and I'm going to assume you guys can do this, right? Motivation. Do you want to do this? Question number 1, are you willing to take the actions necessary to solve this problem or reach your goal? We go through this one last because at this point, you should have a pretty decent idea of what some of the gaps are and what solutions you're going to want to plug into those gaps. So for example, if I scroll back up here and I look at information, data, and feedback, some of the solutions, if this is the area that needs help, maybe journaling, keeping a journal every day, keeping track every day of food, of fitness, of just actions taken in general. So are you willing to do something like that? Resources and tools. Are you willing to do some research and find out the best resources and the best tools and then use them? Knowledge and skills. Are you willing to find out what knowledge and what skills you need, maybe from a mentor, maybe finding a mentor, maybe finding a coach? Whether they know that they're your mentor or not doesn't really matter. Maybe it's someone online. Maybe it's someone that you know and you're just picking their brain. But are you willing to have those conversations or do that research and look for those resources and get that knowledge and skills? Are you willing to put in the time to develop those skills? Because reading and listening and watching videos is just half the battle. Practicing, discussing, really putting into practice what you're doing, right? I could sit in my car and review choreography in my head for a week. But until I actually physically do it, it doesn't become a part of me. I don't learn it yet. So are you willing to do that? Are you willing to spend time gaining this knowledge and these skills? And incentives and consequences. Are you willing to take some time to be really honest with yourself about the incentives and consequences of what you're about to do? So if the answer is yes, wonderful. I probably didn't need to go through all of that. If the answer is really no, take some time. Think about this goal. If you are not willing to take the actions necessary, maybe it requires some vulnerability. Maybe you're looking at your goal and going, man, working out 6 days a week, if that's one of the solutions that you're thinking of, doesn't sound like something I'd be willing to do. It might take away from my time with my kids, and that's too precious, and I don't want to trade this for that. That's your prerogative, and that's why the question is here. And if right now you're going, I'm not sure because I don't know what those solutions are yet, go ahead, just hit not sure and you're all set. Here's another one to think about for a while. Do you want to be successful? We've spoken a couple of times about your identity. Do you want to change your identity? Do you want to change this part of yourself? And until the answer is yes, you will not be successful. This is the most important question. Until the answer here is an absolute yes, and it's not because you think it should be, it's because it really is. You want to be successful. Until this is yes, it won't work. So at this point, it's okay for you to say no and not sure. But just know that there needs to be an identity shift, and that needs to happen before you're ready to take these kinds of actions. You may be able to stumble through them. You may be able to take the action and take it for a while, but chances are that it will come back, okay? So do you want to change this part of you? Do you want to be successful? I'll give you an example. I've had a number of friends that have tried to quit smoking many, many, many times, right? And it's a part of their identity, right? If you've ever smoked, it's a part of your identity. You go to a new job, you find out who the smokers are, right? You find out when the smoke breaks happen, where everybody smokes. You hang out with those people. When you go out to drink, you step outside, you hang out with the smokers, right? It's a big part of your identity. So if you take that part of your identity away, if you quit, what about that time that you get to step away from work? What about that time where you step outside? What about those people? That's the big thing to keep in mind. So they were successful when they decided that was a part of their identity they no longer needed. They were okay with either changing the way that they took a break at work, finding another way to interact with those people, or perhaps those people were no longer in their circle. But that was something they had to decide before they were able to successfully quit. And you can hear my talk in the background. Thanks, Revo. It was a nice moment. All right, next question. Are you generally motivated? And if the answer is no to this, it does not mean you're not going to be successful. It just means it might be a little bit more difficult. If you're generally motivated, pull from those reserves, pull from those stores of motivation, and that's going to help drive you. If the answer is no, you just might want something to help remind you of why you want this. Maybe it's don't judge me, maybe it's a vision board. I love vision boards. I think they're wonderful. They just have to be in the right place. Maybe it's a Post-it note that has your goal or a picture of what you want. Okay? Are you generally motivated? If not, maybe there's some things that we can do to help get you there. Finally, if you are not motivated to even do the things that you once loved to do, have you sought help from a professional? So think back, and maybe you're already doing this. My time in therapy was so incredibly valuable. And I am very lucky to have a couple of friends that are counselors, so licensed counselors. So I kind of get some help for free sometimes, but it is so valuable. And there are times in your life when you need it, and there are times in your life when you don't. And it's really important to keep in mind what those signs are that say that it's time. So not being motivated to do things that you once loved, like if I all of a sudden quit my job at the gym, I think my husband would just call up my old therapist and immediately get me an appointment, because I love the gym. I love teaching. I love doing what I do. And if all of a sudden I decided I don't love that anymore and I don't go to the gym anymore, there's something that's wrong. Now, maybe that's a choice I needed to make, and maybe that was something I decided on, but chances are if I just did up and did it out of nowhere, that might be something I want to consider. Okay? So I want to make sure that you understand that we need to come at this problem that we're facing, this goal we want to be successful with, that we are getting the support that we need and we're coming from a good place. So where's the question I'm looking for? Are you solving this problem from a positive place? Okay. So it's kind of in two places. If you're not motivated to even do the things you once loved to do, have you sought help from a professional? And maybe you look at this question, you say, well, I am motivated to do all the things. I don't have any problems. Then you can go ahead and say yes, or you can say not sure, and we'll just come back to it, okay? So chances are you've gone through these 7 questions, and chances are you're good, right? You know you can do this. You know you want to do this, okay? And if that is the case, if you're ready and you know you can, because I know you can, then next time, tomorrow, again at 2:30, we are going to go back and look at all of our yeses and nos and not sures. And I'm going to give you some solutions. So a lot of this is going to be a document that you can read through and look through, but we'll do some together. So tomorrow, or whenever you're ready to watch the next video, come with your fully completed worksheet. Okay, so if you haven't gone through everything yet, make sure you do, because that's going to be a huge part of completing our next step, which is the solution, so we know what to start implementing on Thursday, 10/10. All right. With that, everybody, I bid you farewell. Enjoy the rest of your day or night, whichever time you are listening to this. And we will talk again very, very soon. Have a good one, everybody. Bye-bye.